Um, you guys ever heard of Blackwater? Because I actually had not heard of them at all prior to extremely recently. Um, I actually didn't see the story like getting any coverage um, uh, until I saw it. I guess I barely saw it getting any coverage. Like I didn't see anything about it on like my timeline, which is where I usually like see like news and stuff. But this is like particularly bad. Um, Basically, I guess for a bit of a summary, um, there was a security detail in Nisor Square in Baghdad, Iraq, and this security detail basically went rogue and uh, went against orders and opened fire against Iraqi civilians. And uh, I believe the death count was at about 17 last I checked, which included two children that were 9 and 11 years old. Um, and the members of the security detail that were involved in this were prosecuted, and four of them were convicted. And DJT just pardoned all of them with like 20 days left in office. Um, I feel like I shouldn't have to tell you why that's bad, but um, just in case. Um, the president should not pardon people who are serving life sentences for murder because they opened fire against Iraqi civilians. I feel like that's not a good thing. Um, but really, the worst part about this is I haven't seen any comments um the president himself. Like I didn't see like I did like a quick skim of this article. I didn't see any I didn't see any sort of like comment from the president as to why he was doing it. Um I really don't I really don't know why. There's no justification anywhere. And that was really the weirdest thing about it. It seems like it happened for no real reason. And it I believe pardons should be reserved for people who were wrongly convicted, or at the very least convicted of laws that are unjust. Like if you want to, like for example, Andrew Yang wanted to pardon people. Andrew Yang wanted to do a mass pardoning of anyone who was in jail for marijuana possession. Um, I think he wanted to do it on 420 too, but but that would be an example of pardoning when you have been unjustly convicted. But there does not appear to be any evidence that these convictions were unjust. It is my understanding that this security detail actually fired against um, against orders. So not only was it just morally wrong, but it was illegal as well. Um, and it was very much the case that even by Iraq standards, this was extremely brutal and extrajudicial killing. So, with that being said, I really have to ask, where is the justification for the pardoning? And presidential pardons explain. Oh, that's just explaining uh pardoning power. But what I really don't understand is why. Nowhere I haven't been able to find like any sort of justification other than like a brief comment on Fox News where they justify it without explaining why. I can go over this right now.
I would note also the Blackwater contractors, and if you look at that story of Raven 23 and how it was misconstrued against those guys, God bless the president for having the courage, which a lot of other presidents wouldn't do, to pardon those men, those veterans who were there defending diplomats, put in an impossible situation.
Let me just add one more.
Right, so this was Fox News, of course, but what he says is that Trump is brave for pardoning them, and I I still don't understand why. Like, no one has been able to explain to me how they were like wrongly convicted and how they were like put in a position to do this against their will. It is my understanding, and this is what the article says, um, but that they actually ignored orders. So I have to wonder, why is it that they are bending over backwards to justify it if there's no reason that's been given? And also, there is like a ton of signaling here too, as well. Like, if we want to go back over this, he says, he of course he uses like he like says bless them,
which a lot of other presidents wouldn't do, to pardon those men, those veterans who.
Veterans. I believe that were they dishonorably discharged? Because it is my understanding that if you're dishonorably discharged from, they could not, maybe they were honorably discharged, but or maybe they weren't at all, but I would imagine that you would probably be dishonorably discharged if you like if you go against rules of engagement. So like, why would you like bend over backwards to like salute them if they're not even good people by like military standards? I have to wonder, because like Tommy C. Hello again, mate. What are we doing? Oh, I'm talking about the Nisour Square massacre. Basically, the president pardoned uh people that did extrajudicial killings in Iraq. Um, and I was talking about I just went over this like short. I'm going over this short like Fox News clip right now. Basically, but yeah, Tommy C has done streams before. He went over Onision's like military career, and okay, so Onision got out of the military with a general discharge under honorable conditions. And what Tommy said is that if you're in like the military, and you're doing, or if you get out of the military and you like are going to hire someone, and you see like any sort of like general discharge, that's a huge red flag, because almost everyone gets out with an honorable discharge, and that's generally gives me the Punisher vibe. Yeah, absolutely. Like the I don't know, just like bending over for like authority or whatever. Like just bending over backwards for like authority. I don't know, it's always been super weird to me. But like what he was saying was that like, if you see any sort of general discharge or dishonorable discharge, those people aren't thought of as veterans in the same way as the rest of the veterans are, because almost everyone gets out with like an honorable discharge. It could be the case that they got honorable discharges, but I highly doubt it. Let's see, who did the shootings? Okay, yeah, here we go. Here, we'll take this guy, Dustin L. Hurd. Dustin L. Hurd discharge. After being honorably discharged. Woo! Oh, wait. This was in 2004. The massacre was in 2007. Wait. Join the elite ranks of all the Blackwater. No mention of the Nisour massacre. That's quite interesting. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, that's right because if they were a security detail, then they wouldn't have actually been like a part of the military. But like anyways, but yeah, you get the idea. The idea like I not everyone who serves in the military like deserves your like undying like gratitude. I think that good veterans deserve your gratitude, but I know Philosophy Tube did a thing on like hero jobs. He talked about like hero jobs and how like there's when there are like really like sort of like dirty jobs that no one really wants to do, instead of like making the conditions better, what you do is you sort of like eulogize them almost. Like you have to like constantly thank them, and it's like considered like poor practice if you don't. I don't know. I think that that sort of applies here. Like, I don't know. Like, Fox News is certainly approaching this in an interesting way. I want to watch this one more time because I want you guys to look at like the language and how they gloss over. They make a point not to mention what they're accused of doing.
Was misconstrued against those guys. God bless the president for having the courage, which a lot of other presidents wouldn't do, to pardon those men, those veterans who were there defending diplomats, put in an impossible situation.
Let me just add one more thing if I can.
Okay. Last thing he says: put in an impossible position, situation. That is blatantly untrue. It is all of the journalism I've engaged with earlier today has indicated that there was really no reason for this to take place, as there was no real aggression against these not even soldiers, actually, just like a security detail, really. But but because I watched a news segment that describes like the here it was this one, but it describes the conditions under which the shooting took place, and it took place in Nisour Square. And it is my understanding that most people were in their cars. They were not approaching the security detail at all, and made no sort of aggression against them. We can go over this as well.
President Trump's decision to pardon 4 American security guards involved in the infamous Blackwater massacre has horrified survivors of this 2007 incident. The guards were private military contractors with Blackwater, convicted of killing.
Yeah, okay, I was right. They're a private security detail, so they wouldn't have been discharged. But generally, in under these sort of conditions, other veterans would look down on these people.
14 of the 17 people when they opened fire in Baghdad. 2 of the youngest victims were just 9 and 11 years old.
I'm guessing this is protected by fair use, so I'm gonna pause every once in a while and just make sure that I'm like that I'm not just completely playing their stuff uninterrupted. But yeah, like I said before, there were like children involved in this.
One man lost his mother and his son in the killings. As CNN's Barbara Starr reports, survivors call Trump's pardons shocking and disappointing.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't seen like any sort of comment from the president on this. I watched the first half of this. It could be in the second half. I'm gonna try to go through all of this. I've only seen the first half.
It is one of the darkest episodes of the U.S. war in Iraq. 17 unarmed Iraqi civilians.
Ooh, can I play that on stream? I mean, ooh, I don't know if this video has ads on it. No, I got an ad on this video. Okay, we're good.
Were shot to death in 2007 in a Baghdad traffic circle, including.
Yeah, it was in a traffic circle, i.e. they were all in their cars, not attacking the security detail.
9 and 11-year-old boys. A team of Blackwater private security contractors later convicted in the killing of 14 of them. The group had been notified.
Yeah, I saw Three Arrows talk about something similar. I haven't seen anyone talking about this. I don't know, maybe if I just missed it, but like I have not seen anyone talk about this. It's insane. I mean, obviously CNN, but like this is a very small segment, and I've seen nothing about it like on Twitter or anything. And that's where I see like most of my like the stuff that's trending or whatever. Like it's actually so crazy to me because this is one of the worst things that's coming out of the Trump administration. Like for sure. Like I do you know how bad you have to be to get convicted of like a life sentence in Iraq? Like dude, come on. Like America is not known for being very strict about rules of engagement in Iraq.
Fight of a nearby car bomb as their convoy moved into a traffic circle. Witnesses said they then opened fire on men, women, and children. President Trump last night turning the page by pardoning 4 of the contractors.
Oh, okay. I thought they were about to give us commentary. I was like, okay, finally? Like,
I was absolutely disgusted to hear about.
Yeah, even like, dude, do you know how, once again, do you know how like bad you have to be to like piss off someone who served in Iraq? Like,
About the pardons because the work that we had done in Iraq was so important, especially when it came to dealing with the local population.
The full pardons went to Nicholas Slayton, who was serving a life sentence for murder. Paul Slough, Evan Liberty, and Dustin Hurd were serving sentences between 12 and 15.
There was an interview with this guy's dad. I don't know if maybe I should watch that after this. I don't know.
15 years for manslaughter.
This is a reprehensible decision that basically throws the
Adam Smith. Do we actually have a representative named Adam Smith? That's pretty sick.
rule of law out the window on a presidential whim.
Yeah, I said this before, but like pardons are meant to are generally meant for like convictions that are unjust. This was decided in a court of law very recently, like as recently as like 2000. It was in the 2010s that I think they finally all got convictions.
The Iraqi Foreign Ministry quickly reacting, saying the president's pardons ignored the dignity of the victims and the feelings and.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if someone shot my son, I'd be pretty pissed. Like, but like even beyond that, like it's literally just illegal. Like it's wrong. But even if you want to approach this from like a much more like, if you want to approach this from like a stricter perspective, it's literally just illegal. Like, you can. I'm trying to think. When did we get out of Iraq for the most part? I don't know, but like there are rules of engagement in other countries, like, and they violated those and murdered civilians. Like it's really just illegal. Like if you want to like be a little more objective about it.
And
like,
rights of their families. Many Iraqis have long felt the incident showed Americans did not value Iraqi lives.
True.
Among those killed were a doctor, a used car salesman, a truck driver, a businessman, an Iraqi soldier, a gardener, a taxi driver, and an aspiring doctor taking his mother to an appointment, according to prosecutors. Getting the convictions took years.
Man, was that guy smiling on the way to court? Wait, can we go back real quick?
Prosecutors. Getting the convictions took years. In 2009, the federal judge dismissed the case due to misuse of statement, but then Vice President Joe Biden renewed the commitment to prosecute.
A dismissal,
Oh my God, he had a brain then.
I want to make clear, is not an acquittal. And today, I'm announcing that the United States government will appeal this decision.
Now, the testimony from Iraqi witnesses at the eventual trial.
I know they get like I think they get like the guy who had his son killed. So yeah, they get the guy who had like his 9-year-old son killed at some point.
Was truly harrowing. One saying they killed everyone.
I mean, they killed 17 people, but they injured 14 more. So that would be considered like 31 casualties in Nisor Square.
All right, Barbara Starr, thank you for that. Now let's bring in CNN's Arwa Damon, who covered the massacre for CNN.
At least 14 civilians
Daddy Biden, true. Big man Joe
lost their lives that day. The youngest, 9-year-old Ali. shot in the head in the back seat of the car
Yeah, they literally interview this guy's dad.
as his father helplessly watched him die. My son was the heart of our family, Muhammad Abdul Razzaq says.
And Arwa joins us now. Arwa, explain for our viewers just how devastating.
It's just, he relates to the Iraqi people and will serve them justice, hopefully. I don't know if he can, because okay, so I don't know how it is in Britain, but in the United States we have something called a double jeopardy rule, and it means that you can't charge people for the same crime twice. And you can't charge people for the same crime twice. And basically what that means is that after they're pardoned, as long as they don't do anything else, they're free to go, which is really messed up. Which is why I'm so mad at a pardoning. Even if he had just like, I don't know, even if he had just like tried to like, no, you can't. Can you reopen the case? I think you can. I think you can reopen the case, but not after you're convicted, but not after like a pardoning. Why did they do it though? I actually, that's the most confusing part. Like, I was not able to find any sort of like reason why anywhere. Like, it literally, basically everything I read said that they ignored orders and like opened fire. Like, the Blackwater guards said they believed they came under fire first, though both Iraqi and U.S. investigations rejected their accounts. Other testimony indicated that an initial shot by a Blackwater guard killed a driver whose car kept rolling. Yeah, okay. Sadism, Islamophobia, xenophobia, yeah, probably all of the above. But yeah, no, they literally, like, it's such an open and shut case. Like, there was really, like, there was no, I don't think they even, like, threw rocks at them or anything, like, a lot of other Iraqis would, like.
Devastating this massacre was.
It was absolutely gutting, Pamela. You have to remember, we're talking Baghdad 2007, so it was already a city that was wrought with violence. But on the particular day in September that this happened, the sun was out, and it seemed as if people could sort of disillusion themselves for just a little bit, that their lives weren't as wretched as they actually were. And then, seemingly almost out of the blue.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know if I really care for this commentary.
These bullets start flying at Al Nusur Square. One person described it as if in an instant, the streets just turned into streets of blood.
Yeah, they showed us those photos earlier. It was no, literally the sidewalks just like soaked in blood. Like,
eyewitnesses have said that, you know, they tried to turn their vehicles around, they tried to get away, but the bullets just kept on coming.
Yeah, I really want to like sort of hammer in like how purposeful it is to kill, 17 people. You have to fire center mass several times in order to kill one person. In order to kill 17, you would have to drop like at least, let's see, assuming that you're gonna miss several times, which is extremely likely, you would probably have to drop at least one mag. So this is very, very much intentional. And it says they opened up machine gun fire too. I really. Oh, it also said, I read this too. Supposedly there were a few like corpses that the guards had shot and killed, or at least incapacitated, because the targets were no longer moving. But supposedly there was one person that they came back and shot like 3 or 4 times just to make sure they were dead. So it goes beyond. It goes beyond just like getting them to like not attack you or whatever, even though they weren't like attacking in the first place. Even though they were incapacitated, they still kept firing at them. And I really keep asking this over and over, but I really just want to know like why. Like I like that really seems to be the big question in all of this. Like why did they do it other than like probably racism and xenophobia and Islamophobia, but beyond that, like where is the political incentive um pardon them? Like almost no one is on. I haven't seen anyone defending these guys like at all, except for like Fox News, but Fox News is a propaganda outlet.
It was an incident that devastated those who lost loved ones, those who managed to survive, but also the country as a whole. The levels of anger that existed in the aftermath of this between the Iraqi population and the American one were quite significant. There was so much tension that emerged between the Iraqi and the U.S. governments in the wake of all of this. And Iraqis really had to wait a long time to actually get a semblance of justice. And
Yo, Istanbul? It's not Constantinople.
It's worth noting too that, you know, these security companies, the vast majority of them, they acted with impunity, because remember back then they had immunity, and they would just
Wait, they had immunity. I actually didn't know that. To be fair, to be a little nuanced, I have not heard of like security details going rogue like this regularly. I would need some citation for that. It should be, yeah. Bring back what was the Hagia Sophia even called before it was a mosque? Bring back whatever that like church was.
barrel through the streets, guns blazing, forcing vehicles off the road. This was hardly.
I believe that. I believe like forcing vehicles off the road if you have like immunity.
The first time that something like this happened, many of them were very trigger happy with the company Blackwater being among the worst offenders. But this really,
I'm sure there's data on this, but I would just have to see it.
Brought a lot of anger and pain to the forefront for a lot of Iraqis.
And you've been talking to survivors of the massacre. What else?
Byzantine, Ottoman Empire. Yeah, the Byzantine, the Ottomans, Constantinople.
Are you hearing from them about these pardons?
Well, Pamela, a number of the survivors that we've actually been talking to were ones who traveled to the U.S. to testify.
Oh yeah, no. They brought like the Empire of Anatolia slash third. True. Yeah, I was reading that they brought over like Iraqi civilians, and they were satisfied. They were quite satisfied when they got their convictions. But like I know there was one guy in this article. He said that like it was really just political theater because they were just pardoned like a few years later. Who was this? Haider Ahmed Rabia. Yeah. Oh yeah, he got shot in the leg. He still has the bullets in his leg. Yeah. Literally, like there was literally so much evidence against these guys. Like, it's insane to me. Like that. It's really insane to me that like even after like all of this evidence and after the convictions, that Donald Trump thinks it's like politically advantageous to like pardon them. I mean, I guess it doesn't even matter at this point because he's like a lame duck president, but like the joint Christian Muslim empire centered in Constantinople fights the Zoroastrian Persians to the east and the polytheist Egyptians to the west. Alternate history timeline, yeah.
And for many of them, that whole experience, especially coming 7 years after the massacre took place, helped to a certain degree renew their faith in American ideals. But here's what...
I don't think... Was she referring to the Iraqi people? Wait.
Experience, especially coming 7 years after the massacre took place, helped to a certain degree renew their faith in American ideals. But here's what one lawyer who was...
I don't think Iraqis really care about American ideals. I think that was kind of what the Iraq War was about. Time to spread democracy by force.
Shot himself 3 times, whose name is Hassan Jabir Salman, had to say. He said the American
justice system is known to be a fair system, but it turns out the American justice system is not fair. Well said. Man.
justice system is known to be a fair system, but it turns out that
they literally went through the I would argue that the American justice system in this case was actually fine because they got the convictions. It's literally just the president just completely throwing out the rule of law. Like,
the American justice system is not fair. He said it is not fair because of these pardons that took place, because President Trump pardoned murderers.
They are convicted murderers. That is true. Yeah, you don't even have to say allegedly. They're literally convicted and they're just being pardoned.
Another person who we spoke to was pleading with President Trump to not release these men, to not allow them to go free, because he said they were the ones who were terrorists. There's a lot of shock today.
Actually, yeah. Like, can you imagine if if a Muslim person committed like a mass shooting in like America like this? Like, especially if we were at war. Like, can you imagine like the media outrage? Like, I have to I don't know, use your imagination as to what would happen.
In Iraq, and in fact beyond, because of what has just taken place. A lot of, as you heard in Barbara's package there, people being reminded of something that they have felt for a very, very long time.
Gosh, imagine Fox News. I literally, actually, that might be a fun experiment. See like the full like Fox News clip or Prison Planet. I don't even. Isn't that Paul Joseph Watson? I should watch Fox News after this just to see.
And that is that Americans, they really just don't value Iraqi life.
Okay, wait, we're gonna check on Fox News now. Oh, it looks like they're not really talking about it. Here, Fox News Blackwater. Fox News host defending convicted war criminals. Fox News had a whitewash an atrocity. Man, I can't even find Fox News. I can only find this like small clip. Here. Oh, maybe this is an old clip. Is this from like 2007 maybe? Oh no, today, Fox News, Pete Hegseth. God bless the president for having the courage. Yeah. Where, man, of course they don't have it on YouTube. Yeah, maybe I should search for like Paul Joseph Watson. Blackwater Prison Planet. Nope, they are definitely silent about it. That's the 3 hours video I was talking about? Yeah. Okay. Oh, you know what I should do? I should do the interview with like that guy's dad here. What was the name? It was like something Liberty. I'll just look up Nippur. Nisor Square Massacre. Yeah, here we go. Father of indicted Blackwater guard speaks.
Do you need to process a large number of video files at the same time without buying your own hardware?
Watch the next episode of This Is My Architecture.
Oh, it's my stream.
Well, tell you the truth, Evan's lived in Rochester his whole life. He's played basketball, ran track, hiked, camp, just like any normal person.
What the fuck? That's so weird. Hello, sir. Your son has been charged with manslaughter. He could face 12 to 15 years in prison. Well, I mean, he did. Well, you know, he ran track. He played basketball. Yeah, okay.
Kid growing up in Rochester. Of course, it's a small town, so everybody knows each other. As far as I know, he's always wanted to go into the military. He looked at other branches and he
Blocking my post or something with certain words. I know my what's that bot I have? Night what is it? What is the Streamlabs bot? I don't know, but my bot's out of control. This footage is from 2007. This was when they were originally being charged.
decided the Marines were for him. My brother was a Marine, so I think that had a lot to do with his decision.
I fail to see how this is like relevant, like at all. Yeah, no, yeah, 13 years old.
So, but he's been very happy. He was highly decorated Marine.
I care to speak about the manslaughter charge, dude?
Stationed in several places. He worked at the embassy in Cairo. He worked at the embassy in
That's really cool. You want to talk about the murder charge?
Guatemala. He spent a lot of time with his family. My wife's
Damn, bro, that's crazy. You want to talk about the murder charge?
grandfather.
Is he going to talk about it at all?
And his cousins. They were always hiking up in the mountains, fishing.
Damn, bro, that's crazy. You want to talk about how he mowed down Iraqi civilians?
You know, just like I said, a normal kid growing up in New Hampshire. It seems like a dream, to tell you the truth. I mean, I never thought we would be involved in this.
Mowing down Iraqi civilians?
We support Evan 100%, of course.
Oh my god.
We love our son, and it's been very, very hard on us.
This interview sucks.
The family and him also. But as far as my feelings generally on it, I cannot believe the prosecutors are going after not only him, but the other men involved.
I mean, yeah, they kind of killed like a lot of people, actually.
They're some of the highly trained men in the country.
They also killed a lot of people.
And I just find it hard to believe sometimes.
Okay.
Wawa coffee is...
That was fun. That was the biggest waste of time. I think I might be done with this, actually. I think I've said everything. Rogue contractor shooting. Wait, is this like the recording? Oh wait, no. This is like... Oh, well, yeah, I think I'm done with this segment. I think I've said everything I wanted to say. No one's been able to give a reason why. It just kind of happened. I'm guessing that it happened because the president is in a lame duck period, and so he has no risk of not being reelected. Oh yeah, Discord, sorry. Yeah, let me wrap this up first. He has no chance of being reelected, despite what some people will tell you. It's really over. And so I think he's trying to do whatever he wants within these last like 20 days or so. Yeah. If anyone could give me a reason why, I'd love to debate, but it does not seem to be the case that anyone can justify this. All right. Discord. Fox News straight up time to end Islam. Okay, I'll leave that in.